Hi everybody, Kay Halliwell-Sutton here from IndigoBlu, and I'm with Alfie. So hello Alfie.
Hi.
Hi, and the dogs are at Alfie making a nuisance of themselves, want to be in on the action, or maybe they just want a biscuit, I don't know, but they're certainly in the way. Anyway, today we are going to be stamping with fabric, because of course our paints, our lovely paints, are fabric paints as well, so that means they're true fabric paint. They're on a fabric base and they don't end up crusty or, you know, stay from the fabric. They're really nice and soft, and they're beautiful colours. So I thought I'd do a little bit of that today. So let me just show you a few samples. So this is all stamped onto fabric and then painted, and we've actually done some decoupage as well. So we've stamped onto tissues and stuck them on with slapped on fabric, as well as doing direct to stamping as well. And on here, this is stamping with flitter glue and then putting gilding flake over the top. So we've got flitter glue and ink, and then gilding flake, which is gorgeous. That one we obviously wouldn't wash, but the rest we could wash up to 40 degrees. So
could you wash it with the fabric slap-it-on?
With the fabric slap-it-on, yeah. Yeah, that's a hand wash. Yeah. So there we go, that's that one. And then we've got some gorgeous samples by the design team. So look at what they've done here. So I think this one is Jenny's. And what she's done is she's actually stamped direct onto this cushion cover, and these are actually onto pieces of like a burlap, and then she's actually cut them all out and put them on with fabric slap-it-on again. So these look gorgeous, and I love the colours. So she's used the lime marmalade there, and I think Kingfisher blue, which is metallic. See how the colours just mix and merge together, which are gorgeous. This is another one that is done the watercolour effect first and then stamped over the top, and then with some added textures putting on top. Then we have this one, which is Jenny as well. So this is with the Victorian Garden. These are the lilacs from Victorian Garden, and she's actually stamped with the edge of the Slim Jims to get these long lines, which I really, really love. So she stamped first, and then she's actually done the colouring in, which I really enjoy that one. And then we've got a really nice bag here, and this is actually made, I think, by Elizabeth. Forgive me if it's not, but it was a while ago. And I love this, how she's actually painted it first, wet it down, painted it first, and then stamped on top. And let's just whiz that round.
Everybody's liking it.
Yeah, it's gorgeous, isn't it?
Loving the cushions.
Yeah. And then this is what I did on her chanda the other week. So this was stamped first, and then I actually coloured in. Now, instead of using the fabric paints, I actually used the Luscious. So the Luscious are not fabric safe, i.e. they're great to go on fabric, but you can't wash them afterwards. But because this is a static hanging that would come out each year, I didn't think that was a problem. I've just done a little bit of embroidery over the top there, and then at the bottom I've just put lots of nice ribbons and stuff. So this was inspired by a class I did over at Craig's Create show, the one big show, wasn't it?
Okay.
Yeah, the one big
yes.
show.
Yeah.
So we did all this sort of lovely ribbon work here by the lady who founded Spellbinders, wasn't it? And she did this sort of thing of decorating a hoop. It wasn't stamping or anything, but it was using a hoop and all of this lovely ribbon. So yeah, she inspired me, so thank you very much for that. So that's that one. Okay, then we have a lovely cushion here. This is probably Kay Melanie because it's gorgeous, and this is stamped using the Limor circles. Absolutely gorgeous. And she's used the Kingfisher No, she hasn't. She's used Sleeping Beauty and Emerald City on this, and you can see that she's actually dyed the ribbon as well to match, and even made the buttons herself using diamond resin and some of the paint mixed in to give the colour. Isn't that fabulous? Just a work of art. You know, everything made from scratch. Love that. We've got loads and loads of these stockings, and these are brilliant to actually paint. This is painted all over and then stenciled with white, which I think looks fantastic. And if I can just get the stuff from behind, so you just have a look at that at the moment. So we also have this from Sue Ralph. So Sue has done this, one of these canvas bags, jute bags I should say, and just direct painted with our paints. She's actually done this on a piece of canvas and attached it, and she's even done gilding on it as well. And then on the back she's actually done this butterfly on a piece of fabric and then stuck it on with slap-it-on fabric.
Elizabeth said Charmaine made the bag.
Charmaine made the bag, great, thank you. So thank you, Charmaine. And then these are just lots of stockings which are great to do at Christmas. So these are really cheap stockings. I think we still have a few in the shop actually. And I've actually coloured these with the paints, just watered it down and just painted it on very, very randomly. And then once it's dry, I've actually stamped over the top. And it's the same with this. This is actually just direct stamping with the snowflake lace stamp. So we've got quite a few different ones here. These are all half done, as you can see from demonstrating. Okay, so those are a few little ideas. Now let me just move these away. So what we're actually going to show you tonight, I was going to do some florals, but I ran out of time and thought, right, I'll do those another night. We're going to do this tonight. So this is actually a journal cover. Okay, so the binding, basically the not the binding, what's the edge of the book called?
Spine. Spine
of the book. There we go. The spine of the book goes there. Okay, and then what I've done is I've stamped, I've painted some lace, I've actually, now you'll be proud of me, Alfie, have you noticed it's actually stitched? So this is stitched using that sewing machine you bought me for Christmas and I haven't used yet. I had a little play, didn't I? But this is the first time I've actually used it, so congratulations me, woo woo! So I've used some lovely bits of, this is a really beautiful soft burlap ribbon actually. We sell loads of this in the shop and it's gorgeous, it's really soft. It's a natural linen. You get 10 metres of it and they're in different widths and I love it. So it's great for stamping on, as you can see, even though it's a nice texture to it, it's really, really good. So shall we get started on that? Okay, so I'm actually using a piece of linen or cotton or whatever this is, not sure. But I'm just going to cut a piece that's going to be big enough obviously for the book that you make. So I'm not actually that bothered about the size of this because I'm going to make it to order almost. There's a dog behind me, so don't move on your stool, Kate. Right, I won't. Is the left? Oh no, it's not. So just trim this down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my metallic paints.
Louisa says, is the ribbon available on the website?
It is, yes.
It's, well, no, the ribbon.
Yeah.
The ribbon isn't.
Is it not? Is it out of stock?
Well, we've never had the ribbon. That's from
no, I've
Keith,
just
no,
I've just bought a load of that because we're out of stock and I've just bought it.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the ribbon on the Dreamcatcher thing.
Oh, the Dreamcatcher.
She might be referring to that.
Right, yeah, you can get that from Fantastic Ribbons. And he's got a selection of huge amounts of ribbon which are absolutely gorgeous, and those were all the neutrals that he selected for me. So that's Fantastic Ribbons, and I think it's .co.uk. Okay, fantastic
The
ribbons.
burlap. The burlap
the
stuff.
burlap we've got, yeah. Okay, so I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'm just going to do sections of it so you can get a feeling for what I've actually done here. I've also got some scraps of lace as well. So I've just been through my junk box and just picked up bits of lace. I've also used my favourite, which is gauze bandage as well. So I've got some bits of that. I've got some pieces of lace. This is beautiful, this is lovely. So they're all in different sizes and everything. And this doesn't have to be totally equal, which is not, because when you know, sew it all, it'll be fine.
You're talking to yourself here.
Am I going lower and lower and lower? Okay, so can you see what I'm doing here? Have you got a good... This is a paint mat. But you know me, I do talk to myself a lot. So the paint mat's good because it's good for stamping, because the paint doesn't bead when it's on there. So I'm going to start off with the pheasant bronze, okay? And I'm also going to use so this is a metallic. And then I'm also going to use Kingfisher Blue, which is a really lovely colour. So let me just spread that out a little bit. And this is straight from the pot. This is a good thing about our paints being really strong and not thinned down with water or fillers or anything, because you get a really good sharp image, especially on fabric when you're doing this. Okay, so a little bit of Kingfisher, and then spread that out on your paint mat. When you finish with the paint mat, don't throw it away, just run it under cold water tap and just scrape off any paint that's a bit stubborn with an old credit card or scraper. But you can see how it doesn't pull, which is fantastic, which is exactly what we want, because there's nothing worse than trying to stamp and it's all pooling and pitting. So I'm going to start off with, sorry, I'm just going to go in front of the camera for a second. I'm just going to start off with sewing pattern. So that's this one here. I haven't used this for ages, and I got it out last week and I thought, yeah, I've got to use that. It's been a long time. So I'm just going to, you can put this onto a Slim Jim if you want. And I'm just going to stand up. So you offer it up. This is already on backing, as you know. Offer it up, stamp into the paint, pick up a nice amount of paint, and then straight onto the fabric. And then hold it on the fabric for a second, because you just want the paint to transfer onto the fabric. Okay, and you get a really beautiful crisp image, which is lovely. So again, stamp with the flat of your hand, and that'll give you good pressure. Just lean over it with your body, and that'll give you a really lovely look to this. And then, so that I haven't got sharp edges, I offer it up to the paint in without the acrylic block, and then just press an area with your finger, and then it takes away from the really sharp edges. So you end up with, you know, some of the image disappearing off into the background. You've not just got great big parallel blocks of pattern. It does make it a lot more casual and a lot more interesting when it's not just a solid block. Okay, and then put this in water face down, because it is acrylic and it will need cleaning. Okay, so don't leave it in there for hours. Okay, next one. I'm going to use the tiny backgrounds.
Just tell people what that stamp was again.
Okay, sorry.
No, the other one.
Oh, the other one, I beg your pardon, that was sewing pattern. You don't need the code, just put in sewing pattern and all the in the search on the IndigoBlu.com website, and it'll come up with this stamp. It's an A6 stamp, so it's about 4 inches by 6 inches, which is in centimetres about 125 by 90, something like that.
Millimetres.
Millimetres. Centimetres, yeah, right. Massive. Okay, so I'm just going to do some free stamping with this. So I'm only just collecting a little bit of paint. So this is the Kingfisher Blue, which goes really beautifully with this. And I'm actually just layering on top and just bringing a little bit of texture to this. Isn't that gorgeous? And again, into the water it goes. And then this is the next one from Tiny Backgrounds, which is that lovely sort of checkerboard look. So we'll have a little bit of the checkerboard in bronze, which will just add a little bit of texture to this. And then a little bit of the Kingfisher. Just turn around and look at Daisy.
She's moved.
She's moved. Okay, she's turned her back on us now.
So the blue, which blue is it?
It's Kingfisher. It's the metallic. It's a metallic blue. It's a beautiful colour. It's one of our top sellers, isn't it? Actually?
Yeah.
I'm not surprised because I do. Everyone loves teal, don't they? Okay, so what else have we got? Really, really love these. They're fairly new, Shine Bright, new stamp set, and I love this. They've got some gorgeous background stamps, some lovely ones here. So we're going to be using this as well. So I'm just going to bring out this texture stamp here. So this is an A5 stamp plate. So you get all of these stamps on here, including the words "Let your light shine," "Shine bright," and my favourite, which is "Happiness can be found even in the darkest of times, if one only remembers to turn on the light," by Albus Dumbledore. Love that. Okay, so this one I'm going to put onto an acrylic block. And I think with this I'm just going to start off with, put some more paint on there.
So if you just go over what you're doing with the paint again, because people are joining all the time.
Okay, so the paint I've actually put, without mixing it with water or anything, straight from the pot, I put it onto our stamping our paint mat, because the paint mat is great because it won't, it will hold the paint and it won't pool and make little pools. So it's really, really cool for that. And then I'm stamping straight onto the fabric just to give me some really nice textures. And I'm letting that overlap, and I'm getting new paint on it every single time. And I'm just going to go into the Kingfisher Blue. I'm putting a bit around here. There we go. So again, straight into water because it is acrylic paint. I'm not going to use that one. I want to use this little beauty. So I love these numbers. Absolutely love them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little bit of Sleeping Beauty. Excuse the state of my hands, but I've only been crafting 5 minutes and I'm already in a mess. So I'm just going to take this and put it down the side here. So I'm not worried that it's going to mix in with that Kingfisher Blue because it's all going to add to it beautifully. Isn't that just the most gorgeous colour? Can you see that? Look at that. That's lovely. I love it. And this is metallic as well. So you're not going to see the metallic on the fabric until it dries. So this is the numbers, this one here from Shine Bright. So again, I'm going to offer this up, and you can see I'm just dabbing it in just to collect enough paint on the stamp. And the good thing about it being on a paint mat is that you only just bring enough paint you need on the stamp. So I want this fairly dominant on the front here. So let me just put that on there. Hold it for a second so the paint transfers. Oh, gorgeous. I just love that stamp. Absolutely love it. And I want a bit coming off here as well. On the so this is going to be the front of the journal cover. Or book cover, whichever way you want to do it. I'm going to have this one about here. That's lovely. And then I'm going to go into the bronze. No, it's not bronze. Yes, it is. It's pheasant bronze, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Get it right, okay. So I'm mixing the colours, which is fine for me. And I just want that a little bit of texture, just filling in these gaps here. So you can see I'm getting a very, very faded image going. And so I'm just layering it and layering it and layering it until I'm quite happy with the result. So that goes into water to wash. Again, remember you must put them straight into water, otherwise you're going to be really, really hacked off when you can't get that acrylic paint off. I think I'll just have a little bit of these moths flying around. Okay, just pick up a little bit of that, and we'll just got just a few of these. Okay, so I'm not doing the whole thing, but you get the idea of how to build that up. Okay, so that's good. Let me just put that to one side to dry. I actually put it on my oil-filled radiator because then...
On the floor.
Oh! I'll just save it. I don't think you're going to film that, Alfie.
Of course.
Put the nets in the corner. Okay, so... You always catch me out. Why do you do that? Why do you do that? That's not fair. My mucky place. I don't know. Right, so next thing, this gorgeous fabric. Okay, so I would like save that piece. So I would just like a piece. Let's just go back to the original. Yeah, that's so big. And the nice thing about this is you can actually get these lovely frayed edges very, very easily. So you'll have fun doing that. And the warp and the weft are really, really easy to do, which is so cool. So just bear in mind to leave yourself some extra space to do that, which is what I've done on the original. Okay, let me put that out of the way. I'm just going to get some white paper. Oh, a cup of tea. Let me just have a slurp of that. Yum, yum. Thank you. Thanks for the mug. Okay.
Kay Molyneux says hi.
Oh, hi, Kay. Okay, so I really like this this Shine Bright. So I'm going to do this with a darker colour. So I'm going to get the Sleeping Beauty. Try not to drop it on the floor, but the Sleeping Beauty here. And put that on my mat here. and then again offer it up. Just tap it to pick up enough of the paint, and you've noticed that again I'm putting that on neat. I'm not diluting it at all, and then that's going to go in the middle here. Okay, so I'm just going to hold it in place again for a second just to give it a chance to transfer over. There we go. Isn't that gorgeous? Let me turn that around for you. But look, you get all the detail of the rubber stamp, which is the beauty of it being really deep etched, you see? That you actually managed to get that. Love that. Okay, and then I'm going to get my little mothies out of the water, give those a clean and a dry, because I'd like some moths flying around, I think. I know I didn't do it on the original, but I'm gaining in confidence a little bit more. And just around here, I think.
Di's only just joined. Di Waldock's joined.
Oh, hi Di.
She's not sure what we're making.
That's alright. You can always watch it back from the beginning, honey, don't worry. There we go. So, some moths coming round. Okay, so into water, and then just put that to one side to dry, and then I've actually done a little butterfly as well with this. So I think we probably need just a small piece, and I've done this open butterfly here because I want to colour it in as well. So I want a dark outline, so I'm going back for that Sleeping Beauty.
Natalie's asking, would that Midnight Sky paint be similar on fabric?
Midnight Sky, Stroke of Midnight. Oh, this. This one.
Yeah, stroke. Maybe she means.
Do you mean Stroke of Midnight? This one. Yes, it will. I did actually use Stroke of Midnight on the other one.
On the original.
Yeah, on the original. So let me just get the original for you. Let me just pop this into water so it doesn't dry. So you can see here. This, instead of it being Sleeping Beauty, it was actually Stroke of Midnight, but I just wanted to keep all the metallics together, and this one here and the one of the light bulb itself. Okay, right, so that's those. The cool thing is that because it is a fabric paint, you can actually cover your ribbons. So let me just pick up some of this paint, and I'm only doing it on white scrap card just so that you can see it, what's happening to it. So this is my gauze bandage, and even though it's diluted with the baby wipe, it's still a true fabric paint, and it's still going to colour it and give it a nice effect. And then again, I just put it on my oil-filled radiator, and not only does it dry, but it cures it as well. So instead of having to iron it, by curing it, it just cures naturally with the heat from the oil-filled radiator. If you're going to use the paint on anything like shoes, or handbags, or furniture that you can't iron, all you need to do is just leave it to cure naturally. The longer you leave it before it gets wet, the better. So let me just grab a little bit of this. I like that better than with the bronze. So you can see that I'm not completely colouring it. I want some of the white to remain. But this is just with a baby wipe, so it's really, really easy to do. Okay, and then you get some really nice looking You see those?
Mm-hmm.
They work really well, don't they? So those are great to sew on. So I'll just put those to one side for the time being. And then I want to show you how to colour these. Okay, let me just put these in water. Oops, a daisy. And I'm just going to get a clean paint palette. And so what I'm going to use, I think, is maybe a little bit of orange for this. You need a spray of water. Now, I was taught by the girls at Pink Pig that when they coloured their images, they actually did a watercolour effect first and let it just spread out, and then went back with a stronger colour. So I'm going to do that definitely with the light bulb. And I'm just going to get a tiny, tiny touch of paint and mix that in with water, loads of water. Okay, coming close so you can see. And then this is actually going to spread. What I should have done is actually just left it on put it on the oil-filled radiator, because it's going to pick up some of that blue. Can you see here how it's spreading some of that blue? So what you need to do is just heat set it first, the first layer, and you can do that with the heat gun. And that way it's not going to spread, you're going to make it permanent. But I tend to do that on my oil-filled radiator. I just put them on there for 5 minutes and then they're sound.
Natalie's just asking who Pink Pig are.
Okay, Pink Pig are a company. Let me just grab one of their things actually. They're a company who print, they don't stamp onto fabric, they print on fabric. And let me just get one of their pieces. They actually print onto fabric and then you're left to colour it in. So you can see here their colour, their lovely designs, and there is their address. There it's www.pinkinkdesigns.co. Pink Ink. Did I say Pink Pig? Yeah. Pink Pig is the paper manufacturer, isn't it?
Right. People are getting confused.
Yeah, sorry guys. Pink Ink Designs. Oh, they're not going to thank me for calling it that, are they? pinkinkdesigns.co.uk. Yeah, they have beautiful. They already don't stamp them. They print them ready for you to colour in, and so they actually suggested that when she's colouring in, that she actually wets it first and then colours it in, so you get sort of like a more soft watercolour effect going on. I actually quite like the way that's softened out. And then with some, so this is Burning Bonfire, which is a really, really strong orange, and it's a big favourite with a lot of IndigoBluers. What should we call them? You know, we should call them something. Our IndigoBlu fans.
Mm.
Yeah, come up with some nice ideas, guys.
Need to mention the giveaway for tonight. So you haven't mentioned that yet.
Okay, what we're giving away then, Alfie?
I don't know. You've used all the different stamps to.
The ones I said, the ones I said I was going to use. So, okay, so what we'll do is we will give away a stamp of their choice then.
Yeah, okay. A5 stamp set.
See, there you go. You can be generous when you try. That's brilliant. So, hopefully you've been sharing and commenting whilst we've been on air. So if you can do that for us, that would be great. Mention us on your own Facebook pages. That would be fantastic. And in your comments, put down which, well, you don't have to put down which stamp you want to
we'll
have a prize. We'll be in touch about that, so we're not going to put you on the spot. So yeah, just share and comment, and then Alfie will do his magic with his special number generator thing, and we'll pick a winner. So this is cool. We're getting a winner every week now, aren't we? Instead of once a month. We were going to do once a month, but I like this once a week, which is cool. Okay, so you can see I'm going outside to get a little bit more water in here. So this is just painting with water, and I'm just spreading out that yellow a little bit. And then underneath here.
So question about will the paints take a sealer like a poly? We like to do a little decoupage on wood.
Sorry, say that again. Will the
paints take a sealer?
Yes, of course. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So once you've finished, you can put any sealer over the top of it because it is an acrylic base, and it won't affect it at all. So yeah, it's quite safe to do that. And then this butterfly, I'm just going to get some of that Sleeping Beauty and some water in there. I'm just going to go over those lines a little bit. And seeing as I've got the orange and yellow out, I will stick with these. Now, let me just seal this in. So if you're ironing this, iron it for about 1 to 2 minutes on an iron that is an iron heat that's suitable for the fabric that you've used. So the lower the temperature, just do it for a little bit longer. Or as I say, just leave it to cure naturally. So I've wet that, and so what I'd like it to do is just spread out everywhere. Now on mine, I actually did use a little bit of gold, metallic gold. So as you can see, you don't need much paint, and add some water to it. And then you can just go straight on. So this is the lovely thing about this. And the girls of RDT have done some beautiful work on fabric. And a lot of it will be on Pinterest, or if you look at on our blog as well, you'll be able to actually see some of those cushions that they've made, and lovely beautiful makeup bags and shopping bags and all sorts. So you don't have to sit watching me do this all night. Don't worry. I just wanted to give you a bit of an insight as to, you know, making sure that your paint is pliable enough. You mix it with a bit of water so it'll move, and then once it's dry you can go back in and actually put stronger colours on, because this is the one that I've mixed with the water, so I'm hoping that it's going to all spread out. So I've actually sprayed the burlap to begin with water, and then it'll move around and soften at the edges. So this is lemon meringue pie. Love this colour, it's so vibrant and bright, but you can see how it starts off really strong and then soaks into the fabric and all that water. So then when you go back and do more details, you're going to get a really, really strong colouring coming through, which is lovely.
A few people saying they will watch you all night.
Oh, bless you. It's nice crafting together. Maybe I'll do a lesson one night, I think, which will be really nice. So we'll get together some very simple supplies, and I'll give you a heads up as to what it is, and then you can get, you know, your stamps ready and everything. It doesn't have to be exactly the same, and your colours ready, and we can do the project together. That sound like a good idea? Okay, so you can see how it's started to come together, and as I say, when that dries you can go over the top. So let me just bring this one in. Oh, look. So you can see that this, if I go back in now with that yellow and give it a little bit of a, you can add to that. Where's my gold?
Yeah, lots of people liking that idea.
Yeah? Okay, so we'll organise that. We'll do that in a few weeks so that we can plan it. Something fairly straightforward, simple. And you don't have to have exactly the same stamps as me, but you'll be given a choice to choose them. Right, so that was all the colouring in. Okay, so we've got the light bulb there, and we've got the butterfly, and you've got that lovely haze around it as well. Okay, so when that dries off, that will be really gorgeous. And the paints I was using there were a lemon meringue, that lovely bright zingy yellow, our famous Burning Bonfire, the best orange on the market, says Lulu, my friend. Sleeping Beauty, that's a metallic. Goldfinger, that was a metallic. Let me just move these out of the way. Right, and I've just got to wash my hands, wipe my hands, otherwise I'm going to get paint all over this fabric, which is not a good idea. Right, so then what I did was I just folded over the ends and sewed all the way round the edge. Okay, and then I know that I'm going to have a spine about 1.5 inches, 2 inches, something like that. So this is going to be my front. So then what I did was I just laid it all out. I got my pieces of bandage and the pieces of lace that I'd dyed and everything like that, and just pinned it all down and just sewed it on. Obviously I didn't finish that the way I did there. I prefer that one actually, which would be nicer when it's dry. And then you see all these lovely textures on it. This was such great fun, and it only took me an hour to do it from start to finish, so you know you can easily do it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a book, and this is going to be the cover. So hopefully that's given you some ideas of what you can do with your stamping and some bits of material. Okay.
Is there an alternative to people who don't like sewing?
Yeah, absolutely. It's called Slap It On fabric. So you can do that. You can use a slap it on fabric, and you have to put plenty on both surfaces and slap it over the top, just like we do with normal slap it on. It won't take really heavy stuff like this particular lace, because it's really heavy, but it certainly takes this burlap here, because we've used it with that burlap, definitely.
And can you just show people the fabric you've used?
Yeah, so this was a piece of cotton, quite nice sort of soft silky cotton that a friend gave me. It was just a scrap left over from a project she was using, and it is smooth to touch, so it's good for stamping on, and even though this burlap looks quite rough, it is fairly fine. You can see through it, so that was good for stamping on. So I guess you want something that's smooth-ish so that you're able to get a good stamp on there. But the good thing about our paints is that they will actually go onto natural fabrics, and also we've tried it on like poly mixes as well, and it will go on those. So just try it out. I mean, I don't have much fabric because I'm not a huge sewer, but I've just had, you know, a few scraps or, you know, bits of fabric from shirts that I was throwing out, and I thought, oh no, I'll just cut out a big square from that and I'll keep it. So just have a play with what you've got. Well, that's what I used.
So we do have the burlap on the website.
We do, yes. We haven't got much, so if it runs out and you do want some, just email us and we'll get some more in, because it's in 3 sizes, and it's really, really good value, this stuff. That's why we sell loads of it, because I managed to get it for a good price, and you get like 10 metres on it as well.
Yeah, it's apparently showing out of stock on the website.
Oh,
so
it's already been sold, has it?
Well, I just need to restock with what arrived the other day.
Okay, so just email us and we'll sort it out for you at IndigoBlu.com. So if you do Alfie at, is that alright, Alfie?
Orders at's better.
Orders at. If you do orders at IndigoBlu.com, then we'll sort you out with it.
And if
no
you can
problem.
just remind people which stamps you used.
Okay, so which stamps did I use?
Briefly.
Very quickly, I used tiny backgrounds. I used sewing pattern. On the original, I did actually use script, but I didn't. See, I did use it here, but not on the one I've just done for you. I also used the butterflies from Victorian Garden. Lovely bee. I was going to use the bee as well. And I used a lot of stamps from Shine Bright. So I used this lovely numbers one here, this one, the moths and the big light bulb. And I think that was about it actually. Yeah, so those were all the stamps that I used, and the colours that I used were Goldfinger, Burning Bonfire, Lemon Meringue, Sleeping Beauty, Pheasant Bronze, and you can possibly use Stroke of Midnight. Now, I was actually going to very quickly show you how to paint on existing, but I think I'll probably do that on another night. So if you want to...
Just confirm you can add paint to the, water to the paint?
Yes, because these are very, very concentrated. So we don't put any fillers or any water in these paints at all. We actually leave them concentrated, so there'll be different consistencies depending on the colour. So an orange will be slightly different consistency to a blue or a green, but that means that you can actually, when you take some paint out, you can add water to it. You can mix it with different mediums, you can mix it with loads of water and put it in a spray, and it's not going to lose the integrity of the colour or the pigment. You're still going to get that lovely pigment loaned with it, so it's good value for money. You get a small part with, you know, a big bang.
And Natalie's just asking about the discount code, 30%. The 30% off is only on a couple of stamps, which I thought Kay was going to use, but she decided not to.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Today.
I'll do it on another night.
Yeah, the code is only on Floral Fantasy.
Which is this one?
Big Butterfly. Is it?
Yeah, Big Butterfly. Victorian Garden.
It was only on 3.
Yeah, it was those 3.
And the code is FB2607. So if you use that at checkout, you should get 30% off those stamps.
Just repeat that.
FB2607, which is the date today.
Yeah, okay. So it's on those.
Okay.
Is there any way you could put a discount code on that? No, it's too complicated to set up. Okay, we'll do that another night. Yeah, we'll do that another night sometime on next week's.
You just have to stick to the stamps that you say you
Yeah,
use.
I know. Yeah, sorry Alfie, I just really wrecked that one, didn't I? Well, you see, I was going to do those. I was going to do this first and then that. And because this took me an hour to make, I thought, uh-oh, it's going to be too long a show. Because we try and stick to 45 minutes and I've already overrun. So, yeah. So hopefully you enjoyed that, guys. Thank you so much for joining us in the shed. And we'll see you next week. So next Wednesday, 6 o'clock. See you then. Say bye, Alfie.
Bye.